My faith has really been tested recently. Got a lot of life circumstances, and they're hard, bro. Very hard. Like a lot of extremes in my life of struggles right now. And throughout that period of time, which has been probably the last 6 to 12 months of just like obstacle after obstacle and constantly having my belief and perseverance tested and my will tested and my faith tested, what have I learned, man? Being still in God's presence has got to be the most powerful thing that I could possibly have. Like the presence of God in my life being that firm foundation of peace. I don't know how to live without it, bro. Life, there's too much going on. In the last few weeks especially, I just feel like I've not been as close to God as I've wanted to be. Even though everything I do, like my life is a living sacrifice for God. Like everything I do is to bring glory to Him and to bring people to Him, to show His love to the world through my own unique skill set, as well as through the gospel. But I've just felt like personally, like not being in God's presence. And I'm trying to figure out, I feel like I'm doing everything right. If I do something wrong, I'm repenting. I just couldn't get it. And as I've got deadlines approaching with different things, I just get more and more fearful and anxious. And even though I'm declaring scripture, like God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of a sound mind, I still feel all the pressures of life catching up and trying to navigate through it. And I had a great conversation with my friend last night. I'm gonna pause for the car so you can hear me. Had a great conversation with my friend last night. I felt like God spoke to me through him. And he was saying, if you take the resources out of the equation, how many times in your past have you gotten through things? So then if you take that data and you project forwards, can't you make the same assumption that it's going to be okay again? And I was like, yeah, you know what? I have gotten through 100% of the things before that have been a struggle, regardless of resources. So it would be wrong to think that it's not going to go through again. It had me reflecting. I'm like, I sure as shit didn't get myself through a lot of those hard times like God did. Was not in my own strength, a lot of these things. And I think about now, I'm thinking, but if I know this lesson, then why are things not changing right now? And I had to think, where am I putting my trust? Is it in the provision or is it in the provider? Is it in the resources or is it in the one who creates the resources? Is it in the circumstances or the one who creates the circumstances? And that lack of peace that I've been having, where it's pushed me into doing like crazy hours of work or trying to find solution X, Y, Z, and just like push, grind state. Like everything I'm doing is like 100% intensity and velocity. And I think it's great. I think it's great that I want to give 100% in all that I do. But doing it without a peace, that's hard, bro. And that's where you can make the wrong decisions. When you're doing things from a place of almost scarcity, knowing that time is running out and got these massive deadlines coming up and massive responsibilities for family and providing for them and many different other just big deadlines and stresses, you're like, man, I've got to keep going on my own effort. And I've been trying to include God in that, because I've learned these lessons before, not to just do things in my own strength. But because I haven't been still enough, I haven't been able to experience his peace. I haven't been guided by peace. I've been guided by my pre-existing plan of what I'm supposed to do with my life. So in my prayer time recently, guys, I've been like, I already know who God is. I already know he's my provider, my protector, my rock, my fortress, my strength. So I go into prayer. I'm like, God, I trust you. I already know it's going to work out. Like, you're providing for me. Thank you. And it's like a quick in and a quick out. It's like, all right, get back to work. Get back to doing what God already told me to do. And think it's great that I know God's character and I stand firm on that. But I realized just how much I've been coming up short. Because if I was able to be still in that presence for longer and surrender my fear and be like, God, okay, I'm still going to declare all those great things about you, but where I'm coming up short, I need to change that. I need to trust you, not the circumstances. When I've been taken out of that perspective and looked at all the circumstances rather than look to God, that's when all that fear and anxiety floods back in. This Christian walk is so meta, bro. It's like Inception, the movie. It's like the deeper you go, the deeper God will take you, and the more lessons you'll learn that you thought you already learned. Like, I felt I've learned this lesson before. It was a few years ago where I had a Supra, an Evo, a Celica, 2 MX-5s and a Golf at the same time. 3 of those cars got flooded. I was waiting for insurance to pay out on 3 of them. The Celica was my daily, and I had an Evo that I couldn't sell yet because there was some registration issues I was sorting out, and I had a Supra that was tied up in a workshop, and I'd taken its sweet time. And all of a sudden, I'd gone from my business was cash flowing amazing to all my funds were stuck. And I couldn't believe it. It's like, how is this happening? I have all the resources and nothing's going forwards. And I found myself, this is when I first came to faith, like 2022. And I was like, I see. I'm putting my faith in the resources, not in God. When I had that revelation a few years back, then the doors opened up into what was going to come next. All the provision happened. The next month, I cleared like 80K. I took my family on an amazing snowy holiday, and God just moved mountains in my life because I had the peace just being in his presence, being like, all right, you know what, all my funds are drying up, I got to sell these $20 parts and stuff just to make rent or provide, dinner on the table for my family, but I trust you, God, and you know what, I'm okay with this. I'm at peace knowing that you're with me and everything else is going to be fine. And so I look back now at my own testimony, my own experiences of how God's provided miraculously for me before. And I've been doing that heaps this year because I've had extreme financial struggle. Like God called me to go all in on my coaching business maybe 8-12 months ago. And I just cut off everything and just focused 100% on developing my systems, back-end, mindset, whatever tools I need to do to succeed in this endeavor. And there's been so many times in like the last 12 months I've had nothing. A bunch of debt coming in, incredible financial struggle, like moved back in at home with my family, had so many financial challenges, and yet I've just been trusting God this entire time, waiting for a breakthrough, just focusing on nailing the daily habits, doing my best to live a righteous life. And what happens, man? I keep looking back to where we've shown up before. Keep counting and standing on his goodness. Another car coming, I have to wait for it. And so I thought I'd learned the lesson. And I was telling my boy, I was like, bro, I've been through this before. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm the one who taught you that lesson, and now you're teaching it back to me. And it's so funny, man, how that works. So anyway, same situation now. And I look back at those times and I'm like, man, God provided for me then, he'll provide for me now. I keep walking. I have to trust in circumstances that are going to completely rapidly change, because I know who God is. He's a God of miracles. The same God he was yesterday, today, and forever. Jesus Christ never changes, bro. So I just want to kind of tell you guys that, like, no matter what you're going through, whether it's extreme financial struggle or whether it's an injury like that, the quad injuries, they've messed me up, bro. Like, couldn't do deads and squats and all these different things for a long time that usually set my pace for me. I had so many different tests. A lot of growth, bro. So what you got to expect is that times are going to be tough to give you the opportunity to lean into God. And if you can embrace that struggle, and praise God through it, worship Him through it, realize that there's bigger forces at play than what you can see right now. And God's preparing you to walk in your calling and your blessing and bring other people through it, through your courage to talk about your struggles and how you're getting through it with God. I really think that's the catalyst for growth, but also for what's going to come. And for me, I know where I'm going. I can't count everything that God's got stored up for me, because honestly, I can't even imagine how great that is. But from the glimpses I've got and the mission that I have, I understood that all of this all-in mentality of not allowing anything to distract me other than focus on God and the mission was what it was going to take. In doing that, I knew there's going to be extreme financial struggle. I knew there's going to be an extreme walk of trust and faith, but it's what I asked for because I wanted to get closer to God. I wanted to be refined so I could be the best man I could be for my loved ones, for you guys, because you're my loved ones too, man. So I knew it was going to be tough. Didn't know it was going to be this tough, but that just tells me how much refinement I had to do, right? So I just want to encourage you guys, if you're going through a struggle, you can get through it with God. There's peace in the storm. That peace has a name. It's the Prince of Peace. It's Jesus. Trust in the provider, not in the provision. I'll keep you guys updated, man. I'm still walking. I never stopped walking. I didn't stop this entire time. But maybe I just had to share this message and get someone else through it in order to unlock the next level. Got to get this deadlifts, man. Let's get it.